afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Laporta, your host of the Mazda Road to Indy TV, back with you here on Pit Lane. It's time for the Allied Building Services Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio, race number 2 for our USF 2000 drivers, and I'm down on pit lane with our number 1 pole starter, Anthony Martin, and he's coming into this race after a win yesterday in race number 1 of the weekend. Anthony Martin starting on pole, driving for Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing. He's back in the championship point lead after the victory yesterday. Anthony, can you repeat in victories today here in race number 2?
Yeah, hopefully I can. You know, the Cape boys have definitely given me an awesome car all weekend, and I'm sure it'll be awesome again. So hopefully we can just do it the same thing as I did yesterday. But I know the boys behind me are going to be fighting hard for the win.
Again, Anthony Martin with Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing starting on pole, but his teammate, Parker Thompson, the Canadian who sits only 9 points behind Anthony in the championship battle, starts right behind him in P2. Anthony, with your teammate right behind you, what kind of pressure does that put on you in this race, as well as the championship battle?
Yeah, for sure. You know, at the end of the day, we're going for the championship, and, you know, we just got to fight it out, and the best will come out of it.
Now, Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing fields cars here in USF 2000, as well as Pro Mazda. They won this race yesterday here with Anthony, and they won already this morning in Pro Mazda with their driver Nico Jamin. So, Anthony, I got to ask you, what is it about you guys and Cape Motorsports that is clicking so well here at Mid-Ohio?
Oh, the Cape boys, you know, they've just got a really good car at Mid-Ohio. They've got a great car everywhere we go, but I think Mid-Ohio is where we really stand out as a team, and credit to the boys, because every time we come here, you know, it showed last year with the 3 wins. Hopefully we can do the same this year.
Okay, so again, race number 2 here for USF 2000. The Allied Building Services Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio getting ready to roll off. Cape Motorsports trying to keep this very successful weekend rolling. Their driver, Anthony Martin, after coming off the win yesterday, starts on pole with teammate Parker Thompson right behind on row number 1 in the 2nd position.
Coming out of the final corner, nice and slow. The drivers have done great starts thus far. In position, past the punch-off cones. Green, 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 racing with USF 2000. Good start for Anthony Martin. Dakota Dickers are going to try to roll the corner coming through. Victor Franzoni forcing the issue. One driver off into the grass on the exit of turn number 1.
Yeah, it's car number 4 that goes into the gravel, Jordan Kane, and he looks like he's going to be able to drive it through the gravel, but he's going to be at the tail end of the field. Another car, Victor Franzoni, got forced off, and there's a car that's got some damage, as we can see some smoke coming out of the car as he got through the exit of turn 1. We'll try to get an eye on that, but there must have been some contact there, and we'll keep an eye. But at the front of the field, just as they qualified, Anthony Martin and Parker Thompson.
Looks to me like it was one of the Pabst racing cars, I believe, Brian, with the issue further back, but they worked their way through the S's for the first time.
Top 4 spots in a line, but we've got a spinner here right at the tail end of turn number 4, halfway down through the field. I'll get a number on that car, and that's the 91 car, spins to the tail end, able to continue. Gavin was that spinner in front of you, Tom Michaels.
Yeah, leaders come by us, the 8 car of Anthony Martin and Parker Thompson. They continue to run 1-2. Everybody else coming through down into Thunder Valley, A-OK. Bringing up the rear there is that 91 car of Luke Gavin. Going to have to do some catching up here.
Martin with the lead, as you guys said. Thompson goes to 2nd. Running in the 3rd spot now, Dickerson. He is all up on it right now. Dickerson said he was going to push hard today. He wants a podium. Franzoni now runs in the 4th spot. 5th is Ricards. 6th is McGinnis. 7th, Luo. 8th, Listoshka. 9th is Agron. And Austin McCusker up into the top 10. Trouble for Gavin, as you said. I had a chance to talk to him over the Cooper Tire stage between races here. We did a Q&A, and he knew he was going to be starting a little further back in the pack, and he said, you know, there's chaos back there on occasion. I hope to be able to get out of it. Obviously not able to see it. He lost the front wing. That's the 21 who's lost the front wing. That's Jordan Lloyd. So, guys, Lloyd was the car, the Pabst racing car that I called about early that may have had an issue coming through the keyhole or through turn 1. So Jordan Lloyd, who had a pretty good starting position in P6, finds himself at the tail of the field and having to come to pit lane. He's going to rely on a yellow to be able to go back and get fighting again for a position here.
Leaders in your view, Brian?
Martin, Thompson, Dickerson come through in that order. Your number 9, Franzoni, is in that 4th spot, and that's where the battle's at, Tom Michaels, that 4th spot.
Yeah, the first 3 are away, and then the 9 car, Victor Franzoni, just ahead of Garth Rickards. Once again, they make their way down, keeping it off the apex going through turn number 10, up into the left-hander at 11.
We had a change in the point standings after yesterday's race as Anthony Martin moved around his teammate to take over the lead in the championship. Parker Thompson going to try to take that lead back here, but Anthony Martin's going to have to cooperate, and so far he's not doing it.
I'll tell you, the battle I'm watching on the racetrack right now is the close fight for Dickerson. He's starting to close up now here on Parker Thompson. Was quicker by a couple tenths of a second. He's only, I think, 5 or 6 tenths of a second back at Thompson now, and the young rookie pilot who's been able to get a lot of experience this year, building momentum, building confidence, building the comfort in the race car, and building that synergy with his team. He is really coming on. Dickerson running third spot, and when we talked as well at the Q&A that we had at the Cooper Tire stage, he said, I want to go after these two Cape guys. I want to see if I can get in front of them and hold them off. I want to win a race here. I think he'd be very thrilled with the podium, but guys, I'll tell you, a race win definitely not out of the cards still for Dakota Dickerson.
Dickerson able to hang on, but the battle's starting to heat up once again at the front. Two Cape Motorsports teammates, Martin and Thompson. Thompson able to close it up under braking. Tom Michaels headed towards you. The battle is the top 3 guys. Close up.
Yeah, the gaps seem to be much less than they were last time around. Martin, Thompson, Dickerson, and Franzoni. Ricard seems to have lost a little bit of momentum there back in 5th place.
Leaders in the carousel turn. As that top 3, you're just right, Tom Michaels, beginning to close up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination. We had Parker Thompson open up a pretty big lead yesterday before he ran over a piece of debris and got that flat tire. But now it looks like he's going to stay right with his teammate.
Well, here's one thing to consider as well, guys, is the fact that I walked up and down the grid, and everybody in the top 10 except for 2 drivers were on fresh Cooper tires. The 2 drivers running scuffs were Dakota Dickerson and Robert McGinnis, the 2 rookies. Now, those tires are going to come in better at the very beginning. They've been scuffed. They don't have that compound still on the outside of them. The other guys are going to take a couple of laps before they get those tires kind of worn in. They really start stepping up. So not surprised that Dickerson was able to press the issue early, but watch for these 2 Cape Motorsports drivers to maybe stretch away from Dakota. We'll keep watching lap times, but I wouldn't be surprised to see those 2 Cape cars up front really start to stretch away now that those tires will have come up to optimum operating temperature.
Thompson turns fast lap of the race on the last lap. He closes up on his teammate of Anthony Martin. It's getting really tight. It's about 3 car lengths out of turn number 6. The battle for the leads heating up, Tom, in front of you.
Yeah, they've separated themselves from 3rd place Dakota Dickerson. The front 2 running in the high 122s. Everybody else 123 or more. Up through Thunder Valley they go. Martin, Thompson, Dickerson, followed by Franzoni and Ricard.
Well, I'll tell you this, guys. To Parker Thompson, he's got to start having that sense of urgency. He came in here with a 20-point lead in this championship, and all he really needed to do was have a good finish. Yesterday was running a solid second, just cruising around, picked something up and punctured the tire. He ends up with a DNF. His whole weekend, his whole year, flip-flopped right there in that session. Now he finds himself chasing. He needs to have a good run here. He needs to get by his teammate and win this race. Otherwise, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to see that point gap stretch even more, and we still have only that double header left after the race tomorrow when we head to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Thompson's got to start thinking, I need to win this race now. Martin leads, Thompson second, Dickerson third, Franzoni and Ricard as they get up front of Rusty Bell.
Only a couple of car lengths separate them as we watch under braking. That number 2 machine of Parker Thompson definitely working better under brake, and they are leaving that Dakota Dickerson car in 3rd as they continue to walk away.
Yeah, Parker Thompson definitely better under the brakes, as you called it, Rusty. They come over the top of the hill 5, down into turn number 6. Thompson not able to keep that 2-car gap as they come through the backside of the track. Tom Michaels in front of you, battle at the lead.
Yeah, it stretches out through 8. A little bit of a twitch there for the number 2 car of Parker Thompson. Still right, though, in the real tracks of Anthony Martin. No change at the front. Another battle back a little bit further. Came up with Stoshkin trying to hold off Isla Agron right now. That is a battle for 8th place.
Talking to the drivers who I have, guys, over the last couple of days, the key to a fast lap here at Mid-Ohio is increasing your minimum speed through the corners. Yeah, it's good to get on the brakes early and get hard on the brakes, but the driver is able to get off the brakes and start rolling again as the guy who's going to have better lap times. So you need to be quicker in the slow stuff. Everybody can be on the throttle. It's easy to be full throttle. It's, you know, they're just feathering it coming through turn number 1. It's the guy that can, or girl that can roll more corner speed. That's who's going to be able to run up front. Not surprising that Martin and Thompson, their second year in the series, looking very good. New fast time for Anthony Martin, a 1:22.111.
Put a little bit more gap there. It's about 3 car lengths this time by as they come under my tower here, just past the kink down the straightaway. watching the good battle as that number 23 car begins to move on the Yufeng Luo, making a move to try to get himself up into the top 6.
He's trying, but under brakes again. Parker Thompson takes that advantage away. He gets it down to 2 car lengths as they come out of turn number 4. It grows to 3. Tom Michaels in front of you. Thompson better on the brakes.
Absolutely. But about 3 car lengths, that is the difference between first and seconds. Then you gap back. Almost 2 seconds further back is Dakota Dickerson.
I love that battle right now. You guys picked up for the 8th position, Nikita Listoshkin and Isla Agron. Those 2 drivers were teammates last year at Team Pelfrey. Of course, Listoshkin moving to Cape Motorsports, Isla moving over to John Comiskey Racing. And that's a really solid little fight right now. As you guys said, it's for the 8th and 9th position. Isla's putting a lot of pressure on Nikita. They'll come out of the carousel here now, and it looks about 3 or 4 car lengths now. She's falling back. McCusker in the 5 starting to close up, as is Cameron Doss and Lucas Cole. Good battling here in USF 2000, the very first rung of this Mazda Road to Indy. Remember, the champion of this program going to win a full seat in the Pro Mazda Championship next year, Rusty. Pretty big to win the championship at this level.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage to moving into the next step on the series as we watch right now. That time around turn 1, Parker Thompson using all of the curbing. Anthony Martin leaving some on the table, so he may be just trying to set that car in cruise mode, but around turn 1, he has definitely got some more speed if he needs it. He's just looking in his mirrors.
Yeah, the 18 car slowed down and is off the pace here as they make their way through the S's.
That was Dakota.
And we're missing Dakota Dickerson, the 3rd place car. Apparently the one that's off in front of you, Brian, and that gives a bigger gap now. Back to 3rd place as Franzoni will move up a position behind Martin and Thompson.
Yeah, Dickerson's car has stalled right here. He has stopped between 4 and 5. That is not a good area. We're going to either have to move him real quick or get full course yellow out here.
Tough one for Dakota Dickerson. Was running in the 3rd position. He went off at the end of the back straightaway. No, here's Dickerson still on the racetrack here. So Dickerson was able to come back on. It's not Dickerson who was off the track. We do have a full course yellow being thrown right now. The driver who actually off the track was Isla Agron, but Dickerson did go off at the end of the back straightaway. Looks like he only lost 2 positions. So Dakota will not be pleased with himself there. But guys, we've seen this before. That's a tough place. You're going down to that corner. You're hard braking. Here's we're watching the replay here online of Agron slowing, coming out of turn number 4 and coming to a stop, as Brian Cuthbert did say that she came to a stop there just out of turn 4 between 4 and 5. We thought it might have been Dickerson who actually stopped because John, he actually went off in that corner. We weren't sure. We didn't see him come back on track.
Exactly, and so Dickerson falls back to 5th spot, which is where, coincidentally, where he finished the race yesterday. But tough break for Isla Agron. Man, was right in the middle of a great battle with Nikita Listoshkin for that 8th spot. And apparently something let her down as the car has rolled to a stop. Brian, I don't know if you can shed any light, any warning on that. Did it just stop running?
I think that car just stopped running. I was watching the other car come back on the track, and you guys were telling me the car had stopped. And as I turn around and look, there's her car pulling off to the outside of turn number 4. And the car just isn't running. So obviously a mechanical failure in that car lets her down.
Those of you watching online here on the Mazda Road to Indy app or on our USF2000.com page, potentially the IndyCar race control page as well, you saw the replay there of Dakota Dickerson going off at the end of the straightaway. And I'll tell you, John, we've seen a lot worse than that. I think he did a great job getting the car woed up. Just got it off the racetrack, was very ginger with the throttle, was very ginger with the wheel as well, wasn't sawing on it, and was able to bring it back on the racetrack. Only lost 2 positions. You and I have seen worse there. When you go off like that, you end up in the gravel and China Beach, you're done for the day. Great job by Dakota to bring that car back on track.
Now, with this full course yellow, it's going to give everybody a chance to cool the tires off just a little bit. I would think Parker Thompson might use this restart as an opportunity to try to move up.
We will see green next time by, and I think you're right. This was going to be the opportunity for Luke Gavin. Luke and I had talked about the fact that because he started deep in the field, he wanted to get 4 or 5 spots, get that yellow, and then challenge. He still gets the yellow. He's up to 13th position right now. So Gavin, with the speed to get to the podium, still could get into the top 10, maybe even the top 5 if he gets another yellow. But as we look at the time here now, still 17 and a half minutes remaining. We are going to go green next time by. They were able to get Isla Agron's car off the racetrack, the Humultro safety crew there to get her back into position. I'm not sure if she was restarted and got back on track or I don't see her down here in pit lane yet, but we will go back to green this time by, John.
Yeah, they put her behind the barrier there at Station 5, so she'll have to sit out the rest of the race there as the pace car brings the field down into the area of that incident, and we will get the green next time by, barring any further problems.
Awesome thing for these young drivers. They get to do it again tomorrow.
Yep.
3 races, a triple header here at Mid-Ohio, kind of the turning point of the season as we start looking forward to the championship, because after this, it's just that double header at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, the Soul Red finale, second weekend of September on that great racetrack. We'll be able to crown our champion, and we'll find out who will wear the Mazda Speed colors, the Soul Red colors in Pro Mazda for 2017. Of course, the Soul Red car belonging to the driver who's won the championship. This year, the Soul Red car in USF 2000 being driven by Dakota Dickerson, currently in the 5th position. Dakota winning the Skip Barber Championship Shootout, which gave him the scholarship of $200,000 to come run the series this year. Let's see what happens. Everybody ready to fight back again. And I think Parker Thompson has it in his mind. He's got a challenge right here. He needs to get a great start. And again, he will not be side by side as he was before. This time actually right up under the gearbox of Anthony Martin. Anthony will punch off when he can as they work their way back around here. Martin, Thompson, Franzoni, Ricards, and Dickerson, your top 5. Drivers rolling onto the front straightaway. We look to get back at it. They're all stacked up. Gearbox to gearbox. Green, green, green. Robert McGinnis, big jump at the number 80. He's going to try to go. Dickerson gets caught out. He's going to go back a couple of spots. Dickerson's going to roll the outside of that corner as they work their way through. Yeah, big starts for both Robert McGinnis and Victor Franzoni, John, as they work their way to 1.
I think Franzoni got up into second, Rusty.
Franzoni in second. He cut right underneath him coming around turn 1, and Parker Thompson nowhere to go. Just about got shoved over the curb there by Victor Franzoni. Now up into the 2nd spot. We'll watch him now first time down the straightaway as there's definitely some shuffling and some drafting going on as we see a big battle now for 4th as that 22 car, Garth Rickards, tries to get around. He's going to try to move himself up into 4th.
Look at Parker Thompson around the outside, Brian.
Oh, he gets that done. What a move to go back to 2nd spot after he lose that. But I tell you what, guys, Anthony Martin has checked out. He's gone with all that fighting.
Yeah, waiting for it to come up over turn number 7. There they are. Your leader, Anthony Martin. Big lead. Then back to Parker Thompson. A little bit of a twitch by the 3rd place car, Victor Franzoni. He's able to keep it under him. Loses a little bit of ground, and now it looks like there's a challenge coming up from Garth Ricards as they go up into 11th.
Hey, you knew that's exactly what Anthony Martin was looking for. You guys feel free to fight behind me. I'm good to go out front. He got a great launch. Everyone else spreading 3-4 wide coming out of turn number 14 as they work their way through here now. Now it's Thompson's comfortably into 2nd, Franzoni in 3rd. It's the 2 drivers in the Rookie of the Year race now running in 4th and 5th, Robert McGinnis and Dakota Dickerson. Dickerson's definitely going to want to get back around McGinnis to see if he can't close up a little more in the points. But guys, as you said, Rusty, a fantastic start for Anthony Martin. But Franzoni, that veteran, he's his 3rd year in the series. Bam, he went to 2nd place. Even though Parker got back around him, Rusty, it was fun to watch that opening couple of corners.
Shoved him right up over the curbing there, took that spot right away, but now he is stretching it out, putting himself a pretty good gap there. But as I said before, Anthony Martin's not using the track. There is time left in that car, and I knew that when we got that restart, he was going to be able to walk away, and the battle in behind just made it worse for the rest of the competitors.
Yeah, great battle now for the 6th spot, the 22 car. Rickards trying to make a move. Not able to get it done, but Tom Michaels watched that battle, the 22 and the 16, or the 18.
They come right in front of me right now. It goes by. The 22, still about a car length and a half behind the car of Dakota Dickerson. No change as they move up into the carousel.
Front 3 looking pretty good here right now. Indeed, 4th, 5th, and 6th fairly close. As you said, Dickerson getting a little bit of pressure right now here from Garth Ricards, 2nd-year driver in the series. Ricards up there into the 6th spot. 7th is Listoshkin. 8th is Lucas Cole. 9th now is McCusker, and 10th is Cameron Doss. So good racing here. Yufeng Luo in 11th. Jordan Kane in 12th. Luke Gavin runs in 13th. Tazio Otis 14th. And Sam Chastain in 50th. A little housekeeping here. We did have a visitor on pit lane after the opening lap. Number 20 of Clint McMahon came in. They made some adjustments to the car. Something wrong, but we're able to get him back on track to get some more lap time. So again, McMahon back on the racetrack, but Thompson now out to a 2.4 second lead.
McGinnis looking pretty good this time, closing down on Victor Franzoni, trying to take over that third spot. We haven't talked much about him, but that car looks like it's running pretty well, and he's closing that gap.
You're right, Rusty. Under braking, he picks up 2 car lengths. So we're watching. Franzoni better be checking his mirrors, as it's getting tight behind him. And keep watching Gavin. He's moved up 2 more or 3 more spots here in the last 2 laps.
Yeah, bye-bye Martin. Then back to the number 2 of Parker Thompson. Franzoni, again, is really not making a challenge there right now. Challenge back down in the field. Jordan Kane trying to bring himself up to the 11th position. That's currently held by Yufen Lua.
You go back to last year and look at what happened here at this particular race when in USF 2000, Nico Jamin was able to win all 3 races, went on to win the championship. He also won in Toronto, the final race in Toronto, a 6-run streak. Parker Thompson won that last race in Toronto. He wanted to come in here and get the momentum. He did not. Right now, it's his teammate and primary championship challenger, Anthony Martin, who is developing all that momentum right now. He's looking to try to get his second win. 2.2 seconds back right now is Parker Thompson, having just laid down the fast lap of the race, a 1:21.999. Quick lap for Thompson. Still a long way to go, John Phippen. 11 minutes, over 11 minutes still to go.
I'm looking at Luke Gavin in the number 91 car, currently in 13th spot, right behind Kane and Luau. He is running faster than either of them, so he could find himself in the top 10. He finished on the box yesterday, had a little miscue in the early stages here, so he's in makeup mode.
Anthony Martin continues to lead here, as we said, 2.2 seconds. Good battling on the field or on the track. We've watched a couple of these fights here. Again, Listoshkin and Cole had a good little battle going right now. Listoshkin about a half a second clear of him. Another good battle, Yufeng Luo, Jordan Kane, and Luke Gavin all together. That's 11th, 12th, and 13th. But this gap now, 2.2 seconds for Anthony Martin, looking to get another victory here, having joined Cape Motorsports after a good season, a Rookie of the Year season last year with John Comiskey Racing. He'll come across the line with 10.5 minutes remaining. Watching them as they stream by us here. No real battles right now in the top 10 as they all roll by. McCusker in that 9th spot. 10th is Cameron Doss. Actually 10th now, I believe, going to belong to Luo. No, Cameron Doss still 10th. Luo 11th. Kane and Gavin. That's the next battle. But otherwise, people kind of settling in here, John, for the next run.
Yufeng Luo is coming in with the front wing missing on that car. I think that happened in front of Brian.
No, it happened in front of me over here, I believe, as it came over the top of the hill going down into Thunder Valley. A car came around. It was sitting sideways on the track with everybody coming down on him. I was able to get the car straightened around and then bring it around to the pits, but apparently somebody did make contact there.
Another retirement there, John. We lost the number 12 of Eric Filgaris, the national class competitor. Issues with the gearbox, kept popping out of gear on him. He'll take it back behind the wall into the paddock, so it's been a rough weekend here for Filgaris in the Spencer Racing entry. Again, he will finish in the 20th position. Another fast lap for Thompson, as we said, as he trying to keep that fast lap bonus point as well. But again, the 30 points for a race win, 1 point for fast lap, 1 point for pole, and 1 point for most laps led. Anthony Martin, for all intents and purposes, getting the job done here, looking to have 32 points on the docket for this particular race.
Guys, Gavin is up to 10th. He's looking for 9th place right now.
Good move for Luke Gavin, as you guys said. I talked to him at the Q&A, and he wanted to move forward. He just didn't think he was going to have to start at the very tail of the field after the issue he had at the very start of the race. But Gavin now up into the top 10. Remember, Luke Gavin currently sitting in, I believe, the 5th place in points right now. Still an outside shot at the championship, but he would have to win some races here at this point.
Down the straightaway, we're watching that Robert McGinnis car. I thought for a moment he might begin to close in, but he's actually going backwards right now. And the car right behind him, that 18 machine of Dakota Dickerson, closing up. It's only about 4 car lengths, maybe 3 now.
Yeah, it's 3 car lengths at the end of the back straightaway. So maybe there's some issues with McGinnis's cars. He falls back into the hands of Dakota Dickerson. Those 2 cars are getting real close together. The top 3 are pretty evenly spaced, and we continue to watch this great drive on the 91 car of Gavin. He's moved up yet another spot. He's at 9th place.
Interesting to look at the points here as well as they sit. As we get going, every other race gets locked out. That's points guys can't get. Once we leave this racetrack at the end of the weekend, there's really only going to be 66 points up for grabs. After today, only 99 points up for grabs. if Thompson, or rather if Martin's able to win here today, I think we're only going to see 3 or 4 guys left.
Go ahead, Tom.
Back in the field, we got another car that spun. I did not pick up the number, but it spun coming at that same place, coming up over the rise, going down into Thunder Valley. This one spun to the outside. Don't know if they made any kind of wall contact down there at the bottom of the hill, but that car is still in that place. We got a standing yellow over here in turn number 9. And the car is now back and underway and out on the race course. So they're going to be able to pull that yellow very quickly. Might have a little dirt down there about 3/4 of the way down the hill.
The top 3 running in the same order they stand in the points championship right now, with Martin, Thompson, and Franzoni in that order. And if they stay where they are, those points battles are not going to get any closer. They're going to get a little further apart. Robert McGinnis now in that 4 spot, coming under pressure from Dakota Dickerson. He's got it down under a second, but on that last lap, McGinnis able to respond and turn about 1/10 of a second quicker, as here comes the 34 car of Lucas Cole. He was the one involved in that incident there in front of Tom, as he's made it all the way into the pit lane. The crew having a look at that machine to see if it's safe to send him back out.
Tough one, of course, for Lucas Cole. He was having a good run there. He'll fall down the order, the young Brazilian driver. Watching the leaders as they roll back across here again. Gap between first and second now 1.4 seconds. Parker Thompson starting to close things up a bit. He was quicker than by 0.3 of a second last time by, John, and that's what it's going to take. He's going to need to do that every lap. 6.5 minutes remaining as they work their way now up into the keyhole. I'll tell you, Rusty, this gap between first and second is shrinking.
It's getting smaller. We saw that coming around turn 1, and it looks like Anthony Martin using all the track now as he is moved out and sitting on top of the curbing coming around turn 1. So something going away a bit on that car. The number 2 car closing down. It's probably about 6-7 car lengths when they went by me, Brian.
Yeah, at the top of the straightaway, it's about 8 car lengths. Oh, on the curbs hard is Thompson, Parker Thompson, really working hard. We got 5 minutes to go in this, and he is trying to reel in your leader, Anthony Martin. Martin able to stay out in front. It's 1.1 seconds out of my view. Tom, they're in front of you.
Yeah, second place actually picked up about half a second on that last lap. We'll see what happens this time. It's about equal distance to what we saw before, but it is closer to what we had seen earlier on in the race. Martin leading Thompson.
As it stands right now on the racetrack, if it ends this way, only 4 drivers will remain in championship contention. Anthony Martin, Parker Thompson, Victor Franzoni, and Jordan Lloyd, the only drivers still with a mathematical chance. 99 points will be left on the docket. And of course, Jordan Lloyd with 222 points, and almost out of it. Could be down to the final 3 drivers, but with only 99 points up for grabs, the third race here this weekend, and 2 at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, it's going to come down, John, to just 3 or 4 drivers left in this championship.
And with 4.5 minutes left, it looks like Victor Franzoni just doesn't have anything for those Cape Motorsports teammates as he's beginning to fall back. And he's well out in front of McGinnis by about 2.5 seconds, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to relax too much. He'll find himself off the podium.
Yeah, Rusty Bell, have a look at this. Less than a second between first and second as they come by you.
Yeah, that gap looks to be about the same as it was last time, but the good part about that for Parker Thompson is it's not extending, and he's able to close it up in certain parts of the track.
Yes, back here in the S's, we're watching, and every single time Thompson has issues getting off turn number 6. The car just does not want to put the power down. The back end steps out, so maybe the tires are starting to go off on our second place car.
Both the first and second place cars very smoothly through this turn 9 complex. Right now, through Thunder Valley, up into the carousel turn. Again, about a second between first and second.
You always hear the talk in any of the open wheel categories about the drivers using the tools inside the car. In USF 2000, they're able to stiffen or soften the sway bar in the rear of the car. That's all that they can do. When you do that, of course, you're going to plant the rear or get the rear to dance a little more. You're talking about the fact that Parker Thompson's having trouble getting power down, probably all the way to the very far, stiff as he possibly can get on that sway bar, just not able to get that power to get back onto the racetrack now. Where he is, he's got to keep pushing. He's able to close now to within 0.8 of a second or 0.9 of a second. He was quicker last time by just a 1/10. So now 0.8 of a second back. Just about 3 minutes remaining here in this race for USF 2000. Anthony Martin looking to stretch his point lead out over Parker Thompson to around 15 points.
Just about into the draft this time as they head into the keyhole. He loses a little bit of ground coming down the straightaway, but it gets closer each lap.
6/10 of a second here at the top of the hill. We'll see if Thompson able to get out of turn number 6. No, again, the car, it push on entry, it's loose on exit. He's starting to lose the tires on the car, but he is pushing hard.
He is pushing hard, but not much push, not much wiggle in that car whatsoever. Tighter line through 10 for Anthony Martin. Parker Thompson taking a wider line there. Not much difference there over the last lap, and we're getting very late in this one.
The driving characteristics you're talking about there is exactly what you see. When you're pushing into a corner, you have a lot of steering input. You're cranking that wheel. Once it gets through the corner and starts to bite, that's when the rear comes around. Tough for these drivers, but Parker Thompson's going to have to overcome it if he wants to win this race. Now, a little bit quicker again, 0.03 of a second quicker. Still 0.856 back. Parker Thompson pushing for his championship life right now. He has the fast lap of the race. He's stolen that 1 point away from Anthony Martin. So at this point here, it's all up to Parker to see if he can't close up. I think we're going to see the white flag, John, next time by. And Rusty, keep telling us about that battle.
Yeah, it was close again. He can close it down to about 3 car lengths, the entry to the keyhole, but he cannot keep that gap. He loses some ground coming down the straightaway.
Yeah, Parker Thompson goes really late on the brakes that time. It's about 0.8 of a second at the top of the hill here. When they get down into turn number 6, the car looks a little bit more settled, but man, he has lost the handle in turn number 6. Anthony Martin able to continue with that gap.
Just a little bit closer this time by. They're coming for the white flag. Big gap back to third place, Franzoni. Leaders up into the carousel turn, Martin and Thompson.
Yeah, still a big gap right now for Anthony Martin. He's probably got a little bit left in the tank to try to hold off his teammate. He knows that he's going to go 2 for 2 here so far at Mid-Ohio. Parker's going to have to step up in race number 3 tomorrow if he wants to challenge here. They got to throw something at that car. Because at this point here, Parker's watching that championship kind of whittle away, kind of slip away from him here now. 15 points, not that much, John. But you do not want to be behind in the points heading to the finale. You want to have that lead. You want to be able to make that decision on what you want to do on the racetrack.
Yeah, you want to control your own destiny,
Exactly.
and he needs to be in the front to make that happen. We were bragging on Luke Gavin. How unfortunately he lost a place. Cameron Doss got around him, so he's now back outside the top 10. A good run for Luke from the back after his early spin. But looks like a top 10 is not in the cards for Luke Gavin.
White flag flying here. Final lap in USF 2000. Anthony Martin, your leader. Parker Thompson runs in second. Victor Franzoni in third. Robert McGinnis in the 4th spot. Dakota Dickerson in 5th. The 2 Rookie of the Year candidates run 4th and 5th right now. Garth Ricard's in 6th. Nikita Listoshkin 7th. Austin McCusker in 8th. Jordan Kane 9th. And Cameron Doss in 10th. Tom, coming to you, the leaders on their way through.
Yeah, and there's a big gap right now. Thompson looks to be slowing down a little bit there. Martin is on his way. We'll see if Thompson is able to get on home. Franzoni is picking up some gap right there as well. Into the carousel turn, Anthony Martin looking for the checker.
Could it happen 2 days in a row? Parker Thompson have some sort of problem at the end of the race?
Coming to the checkered flag. Let's see if Thompson can limp it home here at this point. He's going to be okay. Back-to-back jacks here today, ladies and gentlemen, for Anthony Martin. Parker Thompson ends up second, slows right as he gets across the line.
Anthony Martin, we're talking a lot these days. Another win here at Mid-Ohio. Why are you so good here?
I think the team have just given me a great car that I can drive, quite fast. So being able to do that, 2 wins so far is great. Championship lead, just extended it a bit more. So, we're doing exactly what we need to do to get in front of the championship. The Mazda engine was just performing just awesome the whole race, hitting every shift and everything. It was just beautiful. Cooper tyres, I was stuck to the track, and they're still good to go for a few more sessions. So good on them for keeping us stuck to the track, and Allied Building Products, for what they do for the series. But yeah, I can't thank the team enough and what they've done to the Burgess BLA car. It's just made it awesome all weekend, and 1 more race to go, but hopefully that one's a good one.
So Allied Building Services Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio USF 2000. Race 2 is win number 2 for Anthony Martin. If you keep winning, we're going to have to keep talking. You know that, right?
I don't mind that. You're a good guy to talk to. You're not too shabby.
All right, he's not too shabby at driving race cars either. Anthony Martin, 2-time winner here at Mid-Ohio. He's going for number 3 tomorrow afternoon. Great job.